So, Mithun, I just want to ask one question on the training part of the program. So, a lot of our clients have this concern where how would we deliver a behavioral competency just within 10 days or 12 days of the program, and how can the participant inculcate that in their day-to-day lives within just 1 hour of training every day. So if you can just throw some light and tell us in detail on how this actually works and how Tantalum program can help them develop the things that they want within this time set.
Sure. So Isha, it goes down to the pedagogy and the science of how we built it. So I'll answer, therefore my answer would be slightly technical, right? Like I mentioned earlier, we have broken down competencies into behavior. So if there's a given client, the first job that we do with them is to break down what the behaviors they want to see in their people, and that never exceeds more than 10 to 12. Okay. So I'll give you an example of that behavior. It could be about smiling in front of customers or asking a given question. So it could be anything, but we break it down into 20 to 12 VMBs or behaviors. Now, and accordingly, the duration of the program, the game, is crafted, right? So the more the behaviors, the lengthier it becomes. The less the behaviors, the shorter it becomes. Now, how do these people, what we do in our program as they are doing it, every single day, in that you might think it is 1 hour. In that 1 hour, they are learning about that behavior that is getting reinforced in their heads, and they are coming and demonstrating that in that 1 hour. Remember, our programs are not about learning. Those 1 hour is about demonstrating that given competence. So over 10 days, those 10 to 12 behaviors is what they are demonstrating every day. To give you an analogy, it's like teaching a child for 12 days, every day come brush your teeth. Every day brush your teeth. So over 12 days, I've made you brush your teeth, right? So that is what is happening. And you are seeing the consequence of what you're doing or not doing in the context of the game, right? So pedagogically speaking, I'm making you practice something every day, and you as a participant are seeing the consequence of that in the progress or not of in the context of the game. So therefore, both the aspects are covered. Okay, consequence, learning consequence, and behavior being learned over 10 12 days. So that's very simply put, that's the way it is constructed, right? So if human psychology is such that if I am doing this something repeatedly, then you begin to sort of think about that, comes into your conscious, and it becomes a part of your behavior. The other thing that we do outside of this is that we ask the participants to visualize how they will implement it in the course of their work, and that is something that they actively do during. So we ask them to imagine, visualize, and actually do it and submit proof to us. So they would also practice it in the context of their everyday work situation. So I'll give you a quick example to make it real for a client. So let's say you've given us your showroom salespeople to train, right? And the behaviors, one example of behavior is that they have to greet your customers well. Now, over the course of 10-12 days, that is what they will do in the course of our program. Every day, they will have to come, smile, and demonstrate that behavior to us. That's how they progress in the game. But at the same time, we ask them to do it in their workplace and provide that evidence to us, submit that evidence to us, right? Then there are specific assignments where that is built around assessing that competence. So therefore, you are learning, you are demonstrating it in the game. There are practice missions where you are demonstrating that behavior again, and you are then demonstrating it in your workplace again. So, the same behavior being drilled in 3 different ways to you every day for a course of 20 days, that's the way we sort of do it, right? Now, do we want more time? We would love to. Okay, we would love to extend these programs for as long as you want, right? We will never be satisfied with the time, but we have to consider client realities as well, right? Client often, their people's scheduling, their availability. So it's always a marriage between both, right? Ensuring that enough rigor is built into the program, but also that we don't keep the participants away for an extended duration into the program.
So, just to add on to that, do we need consecutive 10 to 20 days for this, or it could be alternate days? Because, like, people work in corporates, so they will not be able to dedicate 1 hour every day. So, how do we work?
So, Isha, my question to you is, if you want to learn something, you have to set some time aside to learn that, right? I mean, if you are a leader of an organization and you want, and if this is critical for skill development is critical, right? And like, I mean, this also is a little counterintuitive to your earlier question. If you don't give time, how will you learn something, right? So I think time, you have to mentally be open to the fact that I have to give something time. That is when I learn, right? Number one. Number two is that we like to create intensity, because the more intense the program is, the greater the learning, right? So the more extended it is, the lesser the intensity of a program, right? So therefore, our recommendation, while it can be done in any format, our recommended model is that you do it consecutively in an intense manner, so that people have a lot of fun. There's a lot of intensity, there's a lot of pressure, and that way learning is intense, deep, and quick. The more you extend it, the intensity goes down, and therefore your impact starts to go down.
And it's also fun because it's games and storytelling again.
Exactly.
Thank you all for being a part of this panel, and we look forward to meet them again with more insights on why soft skill is necessary for the industry and schools to be added to the curriculum.